I played a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire using only rainbow shiny Pokemon. This meant that my team has to be one shiny of each color of the rainbow. These are the rules of the challenge, but you can also find them in the description. Also, quick disclaimer, in order to keep my sanity and not get traumatized, I asked my uncle that works at Nintendo to get me a special copy of the game. This copy changes the shiny odds from 1 out of 4096 to about 1 in 500. If you have a problem with this, feel free to let me know how much you dislike it down in the comments below. I look forward to not reading it at all. Enjoy the video! The first shiny we would be hunting would be our starter. Although it is both my least favorite starter and shiny starter in Hoenn, I decided to go with Torchic. This is because when planning out my team for this challenge, I was missing a red shiny and also a fire type on my team. Torchic may not be red, but its final evolution is, which is the rule that we are following, by the way. So even though Mudkip would have been the obvious choice here, Torchic filled both of the roles I still needed on my eventual team. Anyway, I sat down prepared to soft reset for the whole day, but it actually showed up within a few hours. Yo, is that it? Yo! Wait, yeah, that's it, the shiny Torchic! Oh my god, finally, let's go! Oh, we can finally move on with the challenge. I caught him and named him Sriracha, and began on my journey. Our first obstacle is the battle against our rival. I just spam Scratch while her Mudkip spams Tackle, and we quickly take it out. But now that we have the Pokedex, we can move on to Route 102, where we can actually find the second member of our team. You see, when planning out my team for this challenge, I realized I was actually able to hunt 3 of them before the first gym. One of these was Ralts, who evolves into my favorite shiny of all time, and the blue shiny that I did want on my team. However, it only has a 4% chance to encounter it on this route. So I was really scared that I would run into a different shiny first, which would not only get rid of the chance to get Ralts, but also could mess up the team depending on which color of the rainbow it would be. Thankfully though, after hunting it the whole day, this happened. Oh my god, shiny Ralts, let's go! Dude, I love shiny Ralts. Gardevoir is actually my favorite shiny of all time for those of you guys that didn't know. I was so scared we were gonna run into something else first. I caught her and named her Rosalina and made my way over to Petalburg City. Now, obviously we can't find the gym here yet, but as I mentioned earlier, there's actually one last shiny we can hunt before we go get our first gym badge. I decided for my orange shiny to be Shroomish, and began hunting it in Petalburg Woods. This was probably the longest hunt of the entire run, and I'm glad that for all of these, I was just hunting at the side while doing something else. Otherwise, I would have gotten bored of this challenge really fast. Even so, I wasn't exactly prepared for this one. Wait, bro, is that the shiny Shroomish? Hold on, I'm literally in the middle of a Val game, bro. Bro, wait, hold on, I gotta catch this thing, oh my god. Yeah, I was literally in the middle of a Valorant game, but anyway, I caught her and named her Truffle. Then I saved the scientist from Team Aqua Grunt and finally made it to Rustboro City, ready to fight the first gym. I sent out Truffle against Roxanne, and it pretty much took out both of her Pokemon with just a few Mega Drains, winning us our first gym badge, so not much to mention here. One thing I do like about the Hoenn games is that we can challenge the second gym almost immediately after the first one. All we had to do was save a bird, get the letter from the Devon Corporation, and get a ride from Mr. Brandy to Dewford Town. Along the way, Sriracha evolved into one of the top 5 worst, stupidest, ugliest, downright horrendous Pokemon of all time. Combusken. See, I told you guys it turns red when it evolves. Look here. Anyway, it was time to fight Brawly for the second gym badge. He led with Machop as he sent in Rosalina, taking it out with a few confusions. His last Pokemon is Makuhita, which also goes down to 2 confusions. I wasn't expecting this gym to be hard, as typically the first 2 gyms in Oros are very easy, but regardless, we now have 2 gym badges. I go deliver the letter to Steven in Granite Cave, and I go with Mr. Brandy to Slateport City. Team Aqua has taken over the museum, so now it's my job to get rid of them because the police don't do anything in the Pokemon world. Anyway, I beat up this random guy first, but then I had to fight the 27th strongest Team Aqua Grunt, who actually gave us a close call, but luckily we made it out unharmed. This dude needs a promotion or something. I mean, at least to the 26th strongest grunt. Then Jack Sparrow showed up and ran away without fighting me because he's a little bitch. On Route 110, we were actually able to hunt another member of our team, who I completely forgot about and didn't come back for until I beat the 3rd gym. Well, time for the run-killing rival fight. If you didn't know, the rival battle on this route is infamous for ending runs in Pokemon Emerald. And although I wasn't sure if it was as difficult in Oros, I needed to make sure I didn't let my guard down. So I clicked stop recording and went to prepare, and I forgot to click start recording again until mid-fight. Don't worry, as you can clearly see, I didn't lose any Pokemon earlier in the fight, but unfortunately, this is all I got to show. Oh yeah, Rosalina evolved during that, by the way. So I made it to Mauville City, crushed pathetic little Wally, and went to challenge the 3rd gym. Although I didn't have any ground types to deal with Watson's electric type team, 2 of his Pokemon are steel types, so I plan to sweep this gym with Sriracha. His Magnemite went down to 2 double kicks, but then when he sent out Voltorb, it used Volt Switch immediately. Lucky for me, that meant he switched his Magneton right into a Flame Charge to the face, getting it to low health and also raising my speed. A Flame Charge took it out on the next turn, and now all that was left was his Voltorb, who also went down to 2 Flame Charges, giving us our 3rd gym badge. Now this next part of the game actually gets a little hard, but before that, I have a shiny that I forgot to hunt. Remember when I was talking about a Route 110 encounter? That Pokemon is going to be the yellow member of our team, Electrike, who isn't that yellow yet, but as I mentioned earlier, the final evolution is what really matters. This one showed up a bit quicker, so after a little bit of hunting, this happened. Oh, we already got it. There it is. It's a shiny Electrike. Let's go. I don't know how I forgot that I could have gotten this before the 3rd gym on this route. I caught her and named her Mighty Thor and headed towards the part of the game with Meteor Falls. Really quick though, if you are enjoying the video so far, consider scrolling down and checking to see if you're subscribed. If you aren't, either click it or don't click it. I mean, it's up to you. Oh, but keep watching. This challenge is about to get much harder. In Meteor Falls, I swept Shelly and a Team Aqua Grunt in a double battle with May, and then Truffle evolved shortly after. After that, I made my way to Mount Chimney to chase after Team Aqua. Now this next battle with Shelly on Mount Chimney was actually kinda difficult. She led with Grimer as I sent out Rosalina. I got it to half health with Confusion, but then she used Disable, meaning I couldn't go for another one. I tried going for Disarming Voice just to see how much it would do, but even with a crit, it still did very little damage, and one Sludge from her Grimer got me to very low health. This forced me to switch, so I went into Mighty Thor, who tanked Sludge, however also got poisoned, bringing it down to half health. I then used Spark, which wasn't enough to take it out, but it did paralyze it. Thankfully, Mighty Thor avoided a Mud Bomb, otherwise we would have lost her for sure. On the next turn, I take it out with a Spark, while my health keeps getting chipped away by the poison. Because of this, I decide to switch into Truffle, who eats an Aqua Jet from Shelly's Carvana, and finishes her off with 2 Mega Drains. This battle was harder than I expected, so I left to go prepare for the Archie fight, because this one was going to take some planning. Once I had my strategy, I decided to challenge him. He led with Mighty Enna as I sent out Truffle, who took it out with 2 Mach Punches. He then sent out Golbat, so I switched into Mighty Thor and tanked an Air Cutter. Golbat then used Confuse Ray, but luckily I'd given Mighty Thor a Piercing Berry before the fight in preparation for this, which cured my confusion and allowed me to fire back with a Thunder Wave, leaving Golbat paralyzed. I then used Volt Switch, which did about 70% of its health, but it also let me freely switch out into Rosalina, who I needed next on the field. You'll see why in a bit. Anyway, I switched right into a Confuse Ray, but I had also given Rosalina a Piercing Berry before the battle. On the next turn, I take out the Golbat with a Confusion, and he finally sends out Sharpedo. I needed Rosalina up for this because I knew she could take 1 hit from the Sharpedo, allowing me to fire 1 attack off to get it low. While it didn't attack me, it used Swagger and got me confused, but thankfully I still landed a Disarming Voice according to plan. Even though this meant I could still stay in and finish it off since I never got hit, I didn't want to risk it because if I hit myself in Confusion, then Sharpedo would have just straight up taken me out on that turn. So instead I switched out into Truffle, knowing it would go for Assurance and not Ice Fang, since Rosalina was up on the field before. I made the riskiest mistake ever here by accidentally using Mega Drain instead of Mach Punch. This is because Sharpedo outspeeds me, meaning if it had gone for an Ice Fang, it would have been the end for Truffle. This is why I needed to use Mach Punch, as it is a priority move, so I will always hit it first even though I'm slower. But luckily it had used Screech instead, winning us the battle somehow without a loss. With Archie defeated, we can now move on to Lawbridge Town and challenge the 4th gym. Also, Mighty Thor evolved along the way. Anyways, Flannery leads with Slugma as I send out Sriracha, who takes it out with a Rock Tomb. Her next Pokemon is Numel, who gets taken to half health by a Rock Tomb and manages to set up a Sunny Day. On the next turn, it gets taken out by another Rock Tomb. Her last Pokemon is Torkoal, who tanks a Rock Tomb and hits us with pretty big damage because of the sun boosted overheat. I managed to get 2 more Rock Tombs off before I'm forced to switch, as Torkoal hits me with the +1 attack Body Slam and almost kills me. I switch into Mighty Thor, who tanks an overheat due to the sun being gone, as well as Torkoal's -2 special attack. 1 Volt Switch later, and Flannery has been defeated, winning us our 4th gym badge. Now we have the option of traveling back to Petalburg with May in order to challenge the 5th gym right away, but we're gonna leave her hanging for now. This is because we now have the Go Goggles, giving us access to the desert area of Route 111. Here we can hunt for the green shiny of our team, Trapinch, who isn't that green yet, but you guys get how this works by now. After a day of biking around in the desert, it finally showed up. I caught her and named her Gaia, and then backtracked over to Petalburg City. During this time, Rosalina also evolved into Gardevoir, my favorite shiny Pokemon of all time. I actually had to do quite a bit of preparation for the 5th gym, but once I had my strategy, I was ready to face it. Norman led with Slacking as I sent out Truffle. Slacking hit me with a Yawn as I used Swords Dance, and because of Slacking's Truant ability, I was able to get another Swords Dance off for free. Now of course, the Yawn earlier does put us to sleep, however, I'd given Truffle a Chesto Berry before the fight, allowing it to wake up. Slacking then hit me with an Encore, forcing me to use Swords Dance for the next 3 turns, which I honestly was not prepared for at all. I was finally able to attack with a Force Palm to take out Slacking, but I was unfortunately put to sleep again, meaning I couldn't sweep with Truffle and was forced to switch out. The reason I couldn't just stay in and hope to wake up is because I was scared of Vigoroth's Retaliate, a move that does extra damage if your teammate has fainted the turn before, so I switched into Gaia instead, as Vigoroth actually went for an Encore, which failed. It then hit me with Retaliate as I used Dig and hit it the next turn. Another Retaliate gets us extremely low, however one more Dig takes Vigoroth out. Norman's last Pokemon is Slacking, so I switched out into Mighty Thor. However, I got hit with Chip Away and was immediately forced to Volt Switch out. I sent out Sriracha and used Double Kick, but then Slacking used Swagger, raising our attack but making us confused. Thankfully, I was able to land the Double Kick, winning us the battle. This was a very hard battle, especially because my plan to sweep using Truffle with the Chesto Berry was ruined at the start, but we still somehow managed to win without any deaths. We now have access to Surf, and we can meet up with Steven on Route 118. We get interrupted, however, by Latios, who takes us to a secret island. Here we have to save Latios by beating up Team Aqua, and then Latios joins our team. Wow, a powerful legendary that can Mega Evolve. This Pokemon will be perfect for an HM slave. Anyways, we receive a Mega Bracelet from Steven, which will be useful to Mega Evolve our starter later on, and we continue on towards Fortree City. First, we gotta take care of Team Aqua though, who has taken over the Weather Institute. This battle against Shelly was very easy, and yeah, that's pretty much all for this place. Oh hey, a rival battle! Oh, would you look at that, it's already over. Finally, after all of that, we made it to Fortree City, and we can finally challenge the 6th gym. Oh, come on! Thanks for the Blazikenite, Steven. Oh hey, Gaia evolved. Now it's actually time to fight the 6th gym. Winona leads with Swellow, as I send out Mighty Thor, who takes it out with a Discharge. She then sent out Altaria, so I used Thunder Wave and actually barely survived an Earthquake. This forces me to Volt Switch out, so I go into Rosalina, who tanks an Earthquake and takes out Altaria with 2 Disarming Voices. I then switch into Sriracha against her Skarmory, and take it out with 2 Flame Charges. Winona then sends out Pelipper, so I switch back into Rosalina, who gets it down to 1 HP with a Psychic. I knew Winona would heal this turn, so I go for a Calm Mind to make sure my next Psychic takes it out. And just like that, we have our 6th gym badge. Overall, it wasn't too bad of a fight, and we also have access to Fly now. Sriracha also evolved into Blaziken and is finally actually red. I traversed through Mount Pyre to try to stop Team Aqua, but Archie runs away with a Blue Orb, so I have to fight Matt instead. I actually have a pretty close call on Rosalina, but we still managed to win the fight without losing her. I now need to chase after Team Aqua to Lily Cove City, but they steal a submarine and escape to their secret hideout. I guess it's time to head over there. Oh my god, you've got to be joking. Another rival fight? Aren't you tired of losing yet? Anyways, I infiltrated the Aqua hideout and found a free Master Ball just lying on the ground. Then I found the quintessential quintuplets. I had to fight Matt again, but beat him in 1 hit, and Archie managed to escape once again. This dude just keeps running away from me. He doesn't want the smoke. Anyway, we make it to Moss Deep City, ready to challenge the 7th gym, and Gaia fully evolves into Flygon as well. Now, if you guys have played Pokemon Emerald, you know that Tate and Liza are insanely hard and end Nuzlocke runs left and right. Oh hey, look at that, they're a joke in Oras. Oh no, an Earthquake and a giant beam coming out of the ocean. We'll deal with it later. Because first we have to hunt the last member of our team, the purple shiny Kyogre. I mean Spheal. Well, Spheal or Celio. You see, we now have access to Shoal Cave, in which both Spheal and Celio are high encounters, so it doesn't really matter which one we get since they're just about as common. Regardless, after a little under an hour of biking around, this happened. Hey, let's go, we got the last one! Finally, I can finish this challenge. I mean, this hunt didn't even take this long, I'm not gonna lie, but just the fact that it's the last one has me really excited. Finally done with that. I'm gonna get my Master Ball on it. So yeah, we did end up getting a Spheal, who I caught with a Master Ball and named Kyogre. But it also just evolved into a Celio in 1 level anyway, and a bit later, it evolved straight into Walrein. Continuing back to the main plot, I dove under the sea and entered the seafloor cavern. After traversing through it and beating up Team Aqua Grunts, I finally made it to the main room, where Archie is about to awaken Kyogre, so we decide to battle him. He leads with Mightyena, so I send out Rosalina, taking it out with a Disarming Voice. He then sends out Muck, who gets taken out with a Psychic. His next Pokemon is Crobat, who hits us with a Poison Fang, doing decent damage as well as leaving us poisoned, but it gets taken out the next turn by 1 Psychic. His last Pokemon is Mega Sharpedo, so I switched into Sriracha, knowing Rosalina would have gotten taken out by a Crunch, and as I predicted, Mega Sharpedo hit me with a Crunch, but Sriracha was able to tank the hit. I Mega Evolved, tanked another Crunch, and took it out with a Double Kick. Even though we beat Archie, he still awoke the stupid whale anyway, and now the whole world was gonna flood. You know, I never understood Archie's motive. Like, has he ever played a Hoenn game? How does he not know that this region really does not need more water? Anyway, fake Kyogre starts moving towards Sootopolis City, so we follow it. Yes, I said fake Kyogre because we have the real one, obviously. I made it to Sootopolis and entered the Cave of Origin. There I go whaleback riding into the magical part of the cave. And then it's time to fight Primal Kyogre. Mighty Thor takes a ton of damage from an Ice Beam, but then fires off a Discharge, leaving Kyogre paralyzed. Because I'm low, I use Volt Switch, getting it really low and switching out into Sriracha, predicting the Ice Beam. Using this pivot, I go into Truffle, predicting a Water move, but Kyogre gets paralyzed, so it doesn't matter. On the next turn, I just finish it off with a Seed Bomb. Then the city explodes, and the sky turns back to normal. We did it, we saved the day. But who cares about that, we still have to fight the 8th gym. Wallace sends out his Love Disc as I lead with Mighty Thor. I used Volt Switch right away to take it out and go into Truffle. The reason I switched was because I expected Whiscash to come out, but it ended up being my Lodic, so I actually just switched straight back into Mighty Thor, predicting an Ice Beam, and then took out my Lodic with 2 Discharges. Now Whiscash actually came out, so I switched into Truffle, walling an Earthquake and taking it out with a Seed Bomb on the next turn. His next 2 Pokemon, Steelio and Seaking, both go down to 1 Seed Bomb each, and with that we have won our 8th gym badge. I made it to Evergrande City and traversed through Victory Road, meaning it was finally time to challenge the— oh wait, we still have to fight Wally first. He leads with Altaria as I send out Kyogre, taking it out with an Aurora Beam. His next Pokemon is Roselia, who gets taken out with an Aurora Beam and a Surf. I switch into Sriracha, Mega Evolve, and take out Magneton with a Blaze Kick and a Double Kick. I stay into his Delcatty, who also gets taken out with 1 Double Kick. His last Pokemon is Mega Gallade, so I switch into Rosalina, who tanks a close combat. I then use Shadow Ball, getting Gallade to 1 HP, but then am forced to switch to Gaia. I get extremely low from a close combat, but I outspeed and finish it off with a Dragon Claw. It's crazy how Wally has been a joke the entire game, and then actually proved to be a challenge right at the end. Now, after some preparation, it was finally time to challenge the Pokemon League. The first Elite Four member is Sydney, who leads with Mightyena as I send out Rosalina. One Disarming Voice gets it really low, but I get confused with Swagger. Knowing Sydney was going to heal here, I switch into Sriracha, Mega Evolve, and take it out with a Double Kick. I pretty much just sweep the rest of his entire team using Double Kick, winning us the battle. Next up is Phoebe, who leads with Dusclops as I send out Gaia. I get it low with an Earthquake, and then it just kills itself with a Curse. She then sends out Dusknoir, so I switch into Sriracha, predicting the Ice Punch. I then Mega Evolve and fire back with a Blaze Kick, landing a crit and getting it low. Knowing Phoebe would heal here, I went for another Blaze Kick, but missed. This happened a few times, and I only managed to land 1 more Blaze Kick before being forced to switch out. Screw 90% accurate moves. I switch into Kyogre, wall a crit Hex, and finish it off with a Surf. Sableye also goes out to a few Surfs, but not without getting a Slow. I decide to stay in and take Banette out with a couple of Surfs. Her last Pokemon is another Banette, but I'm too low to stay in, so I switch into Gaia instead and tank a Shadow Ball. On the next turn, I finished it off with an Earthquake, winning us the battle. 2 down, 2 more to go. The third Elite Four member is Glacia, who I plan to sweep with Sriracha. I took out her Glalie with a Blaze Kick, but then her Wall Ring got us extremely low with a Surf. However, because of Mega Blaziken and Speed Boost ability, I was actually able to just stay in and sweep the rest of her team using Blaze Kick and Sky Uppercut. In hindsight, I probably was risking a lot there with the Blaze Kick accuracy, but I needed to kill the Frostlasses somehow. Thankfully, I didn't miss at all. The last Elite Four member is Drake, who leads with Altaria as I send out Kyogre, taking it out with an Aurora Beam. I literally just sweep almost the entirety of his team with Aurora Beam, until I have to switch out against his Kingdra. I switch into Rosalina and take it out with 2 Disarming Voices, and with that, we have defeated the Elite Four. Hey, I just noticed, we haven't lost a single Pokemon this entire run. Surely nothing can go wrong now, right? Finally, we have the last battle against Champion Steven. He leads with Skarmory as I send out Sriracha and Mega Evolve. I land a Blaze Kick, however, it isn't enough to take it out, and it ends up poisoning me in return using Toxic. I then use Double Kick on the turn it heals in order to make sure my Blaze Kick takes it out on the next turn. He sends out Aggron, so I decide to switch into Gaia. He uses Earthquake, which I'm immune to, so I take it out with my own Earthquake on the next turn. Just kidding, it has dirty and hits me with a Dragon Claw, getting me to half health. I stay in and use my own Dragon Claw to take it out, but then switch into Kyogre as he sends out Claydol. Claydol sets up Reflect and Light Screen, but a few dives are enough to take it out, and they also stall out the Reflect and Light Screen turns. He then sends out Cradily. I do a little damage with Surf, but then get hit with Confuse Ray, so I switch out into Truffle, who tanks a Mega Drain and finishes it off with a Sky Uppercut. His Armaldo comes out, and unfortunately, I miss a Sky Uppercut and get hit with an extremely strong X-Scissor. I decide to stay in and sacrifice Truffle, as it does manage to hit a Sky Uppercut before it gets taken out. 0-7 to Truffle, our first death of this run. The reason I'm willing to sacrifice is because this is the final battle of the game, meaning I need to win by any means possible, and I am very scared of his Metagross. I switch into Kyogre and take out Armaldo with a Surf. His final Pokemon is Mega Metagross. I avoid a Zen Headbutt and land a Surf, dealing a little bit of damage but then get taken out on the next turn, our second death of this run. I send out Gaia and hit an Earthquake, getting it to red, but Steven then uses a full restore. I then use another Earthquake, getting Metagross low, and I'm prepared to lose Gaia the next turn. However, he misses a Zen Headbutt. letting me use another Earthquake and finish it off. If I did lose Gaia this turn, my plan was to send out Mighty Thor and paralyze it, and then sacrifice it as well to let Sriracha come in and win the battle. But we didn't need to do that, and won the battle with only 2 deaths. And with that, we have successfully completed a Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Hardcore Nuzlocke using only a team of Rainbow Shiny Pokemon. If you made it to the end and enjoyed this video, consider scrolling down and clicking that subscribe button for more Pokemon content. Also, feel free to check out my Twitch where I'll be streaming runs like this. Thanks for watching.